Attention ladies and gentlemen, thank you for boarding Air Dave for today's flight from Sydney to Bathurst, where your safety and security are absolutely none of our concern. Good luck. Alright, so welcome to the first ever flight of Air Dave. What I thought we'd do, because we're currently stuck in lockdown and we can't go anywhere, I thought we'll take off from Sydney International Airport, we'll head south, check out the Seacliff Bridge on our way to Wollongong. We'll then throw a U-banger, we'll head up, check out Maroubra Beach, Bondi Beach, the usual touristy spots. And then we'll head out west, check out Olympic Park because the Olympics are on at the moment, so we might as well go and see where the Sydney 2000 games were. Then we'll keep on heading west, check out the Blue Mountains, and eventually we're going to check out Mount Panorama and land over in Bathurst. So the only thing that's left to do is take off the parking brake, throw a whole bunch of throttle at this puppy, get her up in the sky. So we'll even switch the external view for you, makes it a little bit nicer to see. Don't worry about how much we're moving around the runway, that's fine. And as we get up 80 knots, I think we can start taking off. There you go, take away landing gear. Chef's kiss, like an absolute pro. And just like that, we're up in the air, currently hovering just above Cronulla, as you can see just off into the distance. So we're going to head south, as I said, we're going to go towards the Seacliff Bridge. Check that out, fly over the Royal National Park, turn around and then head back north. How good does it look from up here? It just looks unreal. Departing the city, you can see there's a Jetstar flight going there. So I will say just quickly though, if you are a pilot or if you're an aviation enthusiast, this is probably going to upset you because we're not going to be following any kind of flight rules. We're just going to go wherever we want, at whatever height we want, at whatever speed we want. So it might trigger a few people. And as we start to fly over the Royal National Park, there's Bundina down there, some beautiful beaches down there. If you happen to be a cyclist, you've probably done the Sydney to Gong ride, which starts back over there in Sydney City and then makes its way through the Royal National Park, which is what we're flying over now, down into Wollongong, which is pretty nice, pretty beautiful ride. Also, if you're into your cars, I'm sure you've done a Nasho run or two in your time. It's pretty amazing to see it from this point of view though. Just nothing but trees really. And as we get closer here to where the Seacliff Bridge will be, there's Stanwell Park. Pretty nice place to pull over if you're doing a bike ride through there or even a drive through there. If you want to go hang gliding in the Royal National Park, you can do it there. And just past Coldcliff is where we're going to see the Seacliff Bridge. So I think if I awkwardly hold this, oof, that's not gone well. There it is. There is the Seacliff Bridge going off into the water. Give ourselves a bit more throttle. Sorry for the shoddy camera work there. Yeah, so there's a Seacliff Bridge. It's a beautiful thing to do a bike ride over. Even to drive over is really nice. You can stop on either side and check it out. Currently the rendering is showing it going straight into a group of trees, which is not what it would be doing in person, but that's fine. I just love the fact that it's in the game. That's awesome. Alright, so now it's time to throw a whole bunch of power at this puppy. Throw a U-turn and go and check out the northern beaches. We'll start off by checking the Sydney City beaches, then check out the northern beaches and then head west. So I won't keep you guys, I'll just use the power of editing once we get towards Maroubra Beach. And just like that, we are now near Maroubra. We're actually right near La Perouse, which is a pretty nice place to go and visit. And just north of it is going to be the start of our beach trip. It's going to be Maroubra Beach. And then we'll go past Clovelly and Coogee and all those areas. Be a pretty nice day to be at the beach, although it's a little bit cold here today, so maybe not. As I said, we're not abiding by any kind of flight rules. I'm sure you're not just able to fly straight across a major airport like that, but that's okay. If we have a look down at La Perouse, you can see a golf course. Some nice places to go for a walk, to get food, coffee. Mission Impossible 3 was filmed there, so if you're a bit of a film buff, That might be interesting too. Might also not be, who knows, but you're held captive here in Air Dave, so you have to put up with our facts. There she is, there's Maroubra Beach. Shout out to MC Cyclery. If you want to do a bike ride around the area, they're the guys to go and speak to. You can do rides from there down to La Perouse, up to Clovelly, Coogee. Some really good riding around there actually. And off into the distance, you might not be able to make it out in this view, but that's the city of Sydney, which we'll go and check out shortly. We'll go and check out the Opera House. We won't be able to show you the Harbour Bridge though, because due to copyright, that's actually not in the game, which is kind of interesting. If you happen to have this on PC, then you can download an update pack. I'm pretty sure that'll put it in there for you, but we don't have that option here on the Xbox. But the Opera House is there, which is good. So yeah, all these beaches along here, you've got Maroubra, Clovelly, Coogee, Panorama. And then of course our most famous beach is Bondi. Now if I can once again awkwardly move my hand over to grab the mouse. There is Bondi Beach. So probably most famous for tourists coming over here getting themselves in trouble, and you can actually see icebergs just there. You can see the little pool. That's pretty cool. So once you finish being on Bondi Rescue, getting saved by the lifeguards, you can head over to icebergs, take a photo of a juice on Instagram, which is what they do. So there you go. Looks pretty awesome. And now we're going to head north because I want to go and check out some of our other beaches, Manly, DY, etc, etc. So once again, I'll see you guys once you get there. They're only just off on the horizon, but there's no point making you guys wait. So down here we have Manly Beach, which I think is infinitely better beach than Bondi. That might be an unpopular opinion, but I think if you're not trapped, as a tourist, if you're not trapped by just being in Bondi, it's definitely worth your time going and checking out Manly, DY, all these beaches up here, up to the north. There's just less people. It's, a few nicer places to go and eat. It's not as expensive. It's still expensive, but it's not as expensive. So yeah, there's Manly down there. You can go and play some volleyball, look at the sewage pipes, whatever it is you want to do. You've got Curl. There's tons of beaches. You can even just see from this view the amount of beaches that we have. So you're not just limited to going to one. There's DY, it's one of my personal favourites. And also I should mention this whole section here. So Mona Vale, Terry Hills, Newport, this is all really nice as well. Once again, great food, some really nice pubs around here. Just for some quality pub grub, Bilgola and all that. And just up here, over to our left, is going to be Whale Beach and Palm Beach, which if you are a fan of Home and Away, you'll know this is where Alf Stewart calls people flaming galahs and just generally gets cranky and angry at everyone. So there's Whale Beach, and just up a little bit further from it is Palm Beach. So that's going to complete the beach section of today's flight. We're now going to head back towards the Opera House, check that out, and then it's time to head west. Check out Olympic Park, check out Bathurst, and that's going to be the end of today's flight. So, one leg done. Here she is, one of the most famous buildings in all of Sydney. We've got a container ship here too, which is pretty cool. And in front of it would be the Sydney Harbour Bridge, as I said, if it was allowed to be in the game, but copyright issues, so it's not good for anyone. We'll be able to do a nice flyby of the Opera House. Got Sydney CBD. Pretty cool. And if you want to go kayaking, this is Macquarie's Chair, which is just to the left. You can actually go there, do a kayak around Sydney Harbour. So there she is, there's the Opera House. Looking pretty. Fantastic. Let's go full throttle. And that's where the Harbour Bridge would be. So there's nothing there at the moment, but that's where it should be. Hopefully it gets included at some point. Be a shame if it just ends up staying out of the game, but who knows really. There's our Sydney CBD skyline represented. Looks a little bit generic, but it's alright. You've got Barangaroo there, which actually looks kind of good. For some reason the casino's not there, so obviously the satellite imagery isn't up to date. There's a giant ass casino there now, so I wonder how long that'll take to get put in the game. Yeah, now it's time just to point ourselves west, head off over to Olympic Park. And just like that, we're now coming upon Sydney Olympic Park. So just over to the right here, we have Wentworth Point and Rhodes, which is another area that's really exploded over the last few years. A lot of people there now, cafes, and not long ago there was nothing there. There's an IKEA just there, which you can actually see that big building. That's where dreams go to die. So yeah, there's Wentworth Point and Rhodes. And then over here is Olympic Park. So this is where the Sydney 2000 Olympics were. It's now been turned into an events precinct. The Southern Hemisphere's largest annual ticketed event, the Sydney Royal Easter Show, is held here. 800 to 900,000 people per year come to see the event over 12 days. There's Giants Stadium down to our left. Sydney Showground Stadium also as it's known. You've got the Woodshop Stadium, you've got the Dome and Halls, the train station. There's ANZ Stadium, also known as Stadium Australia, where Kathy lit the cauldron. And as we fly around, we have all the athletics venues. We have the hockey centre. We have the tennis centre down there as well. And we have the oval there. That's where GWS Giants train. And the apartment complex just here, you can see these buildings sticking out from the ground. That one just there, that's Opal Tower. That has a little bit of controversy around it because at one stage it looked like it was going to fall over. Thankfully it didn't. I think it's all good now, but who knows. As I said, there is Sydney Showground, so we've got the Dome, the Halls, Cathy Freeman Park's there, Giants Stadium. And it really is a legacy that that area has stayed in use after the Olympics. It didn't just get forgotten about. So there you go. And then just off to the left here, in front of us now, this is Newington. This is where the Athletes Village was, and it's now a residential precinct. So they really did manage to reuse everything. And just below us, this is called P5. This is a car park. Allegedly, there's going to be a surf park there soon, if you can believe that. Anyway, so we might as well continue west, head over Silverwater, point our plane in this direction, and in no time at all, we're going to be at the Blue Mountains, which is where I'm going to see you guys next. And here we have the Blue Mountains, so we're just starting to enter the Blue Mountains. It's called that because from afar, because of the eucalypt, it actually looks blue in the distance, and you can see they've actually replicated that here in the game, which is pretty awesome. It's a pretty simple drive from Sydney. If you're a tourist, you want to get away for a bit, head up here. There's some really nice cafes, nice places to go and check out. Some nice mountain biking up here as well. Not that I'm really into my mountain biking at all, but if you go to a place called Glenbrook, which should be showing itself up pretty shortly, there it is. You drive there, hop on a train with your bike, and you go up to a place called Woodford, which is just over there, and then you ride back. And as much as I said, as I'm not a mountain biking fan, it is actually a really nice bike ride. So good place to go and check out if you have a little bit of time in Sydney and you just want to get away from the CBD. You want to see a little bit more of nature, then you can come up here. You've got Echo Point, the Three Sisters, head up to Medlow Bath and go to the Hydro Majestic. Stop in and say hello at Blue Mountains Mazda. And yeah, it's just a really nice place to go and check out something that's a little bit different. It's not too far away. So our next stop is going to be over in Bathurst. So once again, I'll fast forward away so you don't have to put up with me flying all the way over there. But when I see you next, we're going to be on top of Mount Panorama. Then we're going to try and land. Now we're coming up towards Mount Panorama here, just in front of us. The scene of the Bathurst 1000, of course, a mecca for a lot of car people around the world, not even just in Sydney, but around the world. If you want to come here from Sydney, it's about 2.5 hours thereabouts. You want to make sure you obey the speed limit once you get here though. The Highway Patrol are very much aware that this is a racetrack that Joe Blow can drive around whenever he wants. So as you can see, you might be able to see down there, once again if we awkwardly use the mouse, there is the hotel, there's the chase, pit lane where you would camp, there's Conrod, and there is the Mount Panorama Bathurst sign. That's pretty awesome. So being able to get to see that from the air, there she is in all her glory, top of the mountain. The S's, the Dipper. That's pretty mad. And now all that's left to do is to turn around and try and land this puppy. So I'm going to do that. I will come back to you once I've got myself lined up on the runway, see what we can do. Okay, so you can see the Bathurst Airport out there in front of us. Don't know how this is going to go, but we're certainly going to give it a shot. Probably should put our landing gear down. This could get interesting, ladies and gentlemen, so strap yourself in. There's the runway. This is going to be a rough landing, I feel, but we're going to give it our best. We're going to need full flaps, we're going to need all the help we can get. We've cut power. Hopefully we've come in at an alright angle. See if we can just bring our nose up. Don't have a lot of power. Speed's dropping rapidly. We're going to stall in a second if we're not careful. Should be okay. Over the runway. Cut power. Get ready to flare. We're down, ladies and gentlemen. We are down. We're on the runway. Don't worry about that little shimmy. That's fine. Brakes are on. And we made it. Take that to any of the doubters. Let's throw our parking brake on. There she is. If anyone didn't believe it, she's on the ground. We've made it from Sydney to the beaches, to the Blue Mountains, to Bathurst. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed your flight today on Air Dave. Hopefully you weren't too violently ill and you'll fly again with us soon. And I also hope that you have a lovely day. So I'll see you in the next video.